60-month low-interest financing. One Champion.
You're watching Virginia This Morning.
Welcome back to our live show. The upcoming 15th Annual James River Writers Conference is a great networking opportunity for both established and aspiring novelists, and a chance to hone your skills if you want or want to be a writer. Here to fill us in on the details are the Executive Director of James River Writers, Catherine Herndon, and Richmond-based award-winning author Gigi Amato. Good morning, ladies. Good to see you.
Good morning.
We've already been having such a great conversation during the commercial break. It's wonderful. This is a great opportunity for writers to get together and meet other writers and talk to other writers and just immerse yourself in the book, isn't it?
It is, really. I think for all sorts of writers of all genres, novelists, historical writers, poets, it's just a great opportunity wherever you are in your writing journey or your reading journey, to come and be surrounded by words, by stories, and to really just kind of tap into the tapestry of so many different genres and authors.
And Catherine, that's kind of what James River Writers is all about to begin with, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're all about supporting writers in wherever they are in their journey and lifting them up, connecting them to each other so it doesn't feel like a lonely journey, and giving them support. So that's what we're all about.
Kind of give us an idea of what's going to be going on at the conference. What can people actually do?
So we have 2 days of the conference, October 14th and 15th, and that's at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. And during the conference, people can come and they can participate in sessions where we'll have a panel of experts on the stage, and they can choose from all sorts of different panels on historical fiction, developing heroes and villains, queer literature. We have so many choices. And then we're really excited. We're going to have an interview with Margot Lee Shetterly of Hidden Figures at the end of the day, so people can learn from her expertise about her writing journey. So it's exciting.
And you're going to have a lot of authors there, like Gigi, who
Yes.
you can come in and hear from. You're one of the featured speakers. What's that like, getting in front of people who want to do what you do?
Well, it's great to be able just to share and talk about different aspects of craft. I think one thing I'm so excited about this year is I'm on a young adult literature panel with Alex Sanchez, who's the author of Rainbow Boys. So for me, that panel will be, will I show up as an author or fangirl? So I'll have to kind of balance those two things.
And that's nice that you still are both. And you're working on your latest book. You've been here a couple of times here on Virginia This Morning talking about your books. You feature, you focus on young adult readers.
Right. So my stories really are often multi-generational. I love just the energy and heart that happens when multiple different generations kind of connect and find friendship. So I do write for children and for young adults, but I think at the heart of that really is like the connection through generations.
Yeah. How important is it that we continue to focus on our young people and express to them how important it is to actually hold and read a book?
I think story is critical. Story is such a part of what binds us as a human species, and it is key not only for kids to have a chance to read in school, but for children to be able to explore literature and to find stories that reflect their lives, their families, and for children to explore stories that reflect families and children of many different backgrounds. And that's really kind of also at the heart of what JRW does as they curate this conference, of being very mindful to be inclusive of so many different kinds of stories and different kinds of writers.
And a lot of our main writers started when they were very young.
That's so true, and I think they have wonderful stories to share and uplifting journeys to share with us about what inspired them and what they were able to accomplish. So that's part of what the weekend is about too, is lifting people up and feeling inspired. I think sometimes writing is solitary, and you get to come to the weekend and feel like, oh my gosh, here are all these people who are like me and understand what I love. So that's really one of the best joys of it, I think.
And one of the nice things, too, that James River Writers does is if you have a nugget of a story that you want to tell, you help develop that and you help expand the imaginations.
Absolutely, and there's so many different ways to tell stories, you know, whether it's traditional publishing or self-publishing, or people have so many opportunities that aren't even book related. There's so many ways you can get it out in magazine articles or blog posts, and we're about all kinds of writing, so.
Yeah, and this is great. So can the young writer come to the conference if they want to?
Absolutely. We always have some college students and a few high school students who come and they usually end up being very inspired and feel very welcome at our conference. It's a very friendly conference.
And what about somebody who may not necessarily want to be a writer, but is interested in the process of writing and how a book comes into development? Would that be something of interest to them?
I think so, definitely. So JRW's conferences really focus on a couple of different things. One aspect for sure is the business of publishing or the business of writing, which would be of interest to folks who want to kind of forge that path into publishing. And so much of the conference also really is focused around craft. So I find I get as much out of it in terms of like developing my craft, but also in enriching my reading life. So I think it's an ideal place for people who love words and language and stories and reading to come too.
And can you come to just bits and pieces of the conference? Should you plan to come to the whole thing, which is probably a great idea?
Of course, I think you should come to the whole thing. But we actually do have one-day passes, so you can choose if you want to come Saturday or Sunday. And we do have some master classes the day before. Those are open to conference attendees up until October 1st, and then after that, if we have space, we open it up to the public. So.
And I did see that you have the first project panel. The deadline is coming up on the 15th. That people can submit opening lines for a conference.
Yes, that is one of our most popular panels. Basically what people do is they send in their first page anonymously. I mean, they tell us who they are, but we don't tell anybody else. And we have a judge panel of agents and editors who, on the spot, we read the page aloud and they give feedback on the spot, and they say, well, you know, you shouldn't start with waking up in the morning. You should start with something a little more active. Or they say, oh, I would definitely read on. Who wrote this? And
getting the great feedback.
And getting the great feedback.
That's awesome. Well, Catherine and Gigi, thank you so much for joining us today and filling us in on the conference coming up.
Thank you, Cheryl.
You're very welcome. The 15th Annual James River Writers Conference kicks off with a pre-conference masterclass on Friday, October 13th. General sessions will be held on both Saturday, October 14th and Sunday, October 15th at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. You've got plenty of time. Go ahead and register now and get ready for the conference. You can visit WTVR.com/VTM. We'll give you a link to more details. And stay tuned. Virginia This Morning returns right after this break.
Here's today's James River Air Comfort Report.